Hi friends, welcome to another RedditRev episode. Please subscribe and hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, and please share it with your friends if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Also, please leave me a comment to let me know what you think of the episode. Now let's get started with today's stories.
Cheat on me. I'll destroy your relationship with your mother. I was asked to submit this comment as a post about one of my college buddies' revenge on his cheating girlfriend of 2 years. He found out that she was cheating on him and he was literally crying in his car for a few days. He was planning on marriage and kids and the white picket fence with her. He didn't tell her he knew. He told her that he was going to his parents' house for a few days to help them with some repairs. Instead, he hung out with us and cried, literally cried in front of his buddies, for a couple of days. We helped him get out of it. He sobered up and told us how he was going to destroy her, and I didn't even understand it at the time. But he was headed to a famous law school and was thinking way ahead of us. He drove to his girlfriend's mother's house, over an hour outside of town, with her items from his apartment nicely boxed up, and said he wanted to leave them with her for GF. GF's mom and him had met several times, he had gone to their Thanksgiving, etc. GF's mom was like, okay, but why? Not suspecting anything was wrong. And he said something brief like, I don't think we'll be seeing each other again, but I needed to get this box back to her. But thank you for everything you've done for me. I'm sorry it didn't work out. GF's mom is stunned and tries to ask why and what and everything, but my friend just starts crying, I don't think intentionally, and runs off and drives away. He never broke up with the GF, never even contacted her. She heard about it from her mom, who called her immediately, and he received confused and angry texts from the now ex on his drive home. A little while later, at least a couple of weeks, he gets an email from the GF's mom. I don't remember the specifics, but it was not, I apologize for my daughter, but more like, I hope you find a woman who loves you unconditionally, or something to that effect. He responded with something like, thanks, your note means a lot to me, nothing negative. Dude is now a up-and-coming lawyer, and still gets texts from the ex saying that she constantly hears from her mom how she ruined it with the one good guy she had and how she doesn't deserve to be happy. Friend has never responded to one text, and blocked her from FB. Of course, this was all 100% planned. My friend wanted the hurt to come from someone who would stay in his ex's life, not from someone who would be quickly forgotten. He deliberately created a rift in the closest relationship that two women can have. And all in a friendly 60-second conversation with no harsh words or accusations. Edit, my friend said he would join this thread a little later today. Now for the next story. Cheat on me. I'll end your new relationship 8 years later. I started dating this girl, let's call her Suzanne, for like 12 years ago. When we met she had 2 kids, we can call them John and Sarah, from a previous relationship, and I was fine with that. We really had a great time and I became like an extra father figure to them. However, after we had been a couple for about 4 years I found out Suzanne had had an affair, so I dumped her. 2 months later a mutual friend of ours told me Suzanne had moved in together with her new boyfriend Jeff, and about a year later they got a baby. And that was that. I forgot about her and moved on with my life. But a couple of months ago she pops up on Instagram as a friend suggestion. Since she has an open account I went through her pictures and managed to find out her boyfriend's account, you know, Jeff, who she moved in with right after we broke up. He also has an open account, so I thought I would play them a little prank. I know Suzanne is really jealous, so I created a fake account on Instagram and named the fake user Sarah, just like one of Suzanne's kids but with another surname. I kept the account private, but I uploaded some random images and got some followers just to make it look like an authentic active account. And then I started to bombard Jeff's posts with comments on how nice he was looking and giving him all sorts of compliments. The setup was quite simple since Jeff is a spinning instructor, so I made it look like Sarah was attending his classes. The reasons I gave the fake user the same name as Suzanne's daughter was because if she swallowed the bait she would always think of the girl flirting with Jeff every time she thought of her daughter. As I said, Suzanne is jealous. Really jealous. And the plan seemed to have worked better than I expected. Just now I spoke to our mutual friend and I learned Jeff and Suzanne broke up and moved apart because Jeff had an affair. Comment 1. Dude, you deliberately went out of your way to destroy a family, including innocent people you legitimately cared about, for a petty revenge that 99% of people would move on from. This sub is about people who get their revenge by using their own shortcomings and asshole-ish behavior against them, such as documenting and submitting their wrongdoings, and letting them plunge in while they are already on their way down, as well as justified if it affects your life in a very negative way currently, or has drastically affected you in the past. This is neither. You indirectly exploited an innocent child and possibly destroyed a family because of something that you should have arguably moved on, given that it happened a decade ago. Also, yes, she cheated, but, all that it's worth, she cheated on you with someone she later grew a relationship with and settled down. That's something that often happens. Cheaters don't always cheat because they can. Sometimes, cheating is a coward's way out of a relationship with someone that you simply can't really enjoy being with. And it happens. Sorry, this is not pro-revenge. You actually need therapy, given how far you went out of your way to destroy her life, and lives of innocent people, just to satisfy yourself. Now for the next story. Don't cheat on a med student. This is a story that happened over the span of a few years. When I first started med school, I had a girlfriend who was decently attractive. Not 10/10ths but definitely a solid 7/10ths. Unfortunately, she thought of herself as a 10/10ths and acted like one too. As med school wore on, I started spending more time studying and less time caring for myself. As she was a 10/10ths and thus had no business doing anything beneath her, I was the only person who was doing the cleaning, cooking, and paying for the apartment we shared. This took up even more of my time as I entered my internship. Sometimes I'd come back to a dirty apartment that I'd have to clean up after a long shift, and I only had less time to take care of myself as a result, so my appearance suffered. I got fatter and some days I'd have to rush out the door without shaving because I'd only gotten 2 hours of sleep after cleaning and cooking. She'd never help and she was verbally, and sometimes physically, abusive. I stayed with her because I was deeply in love with her. About half a year into my internship I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me with some art student she said was there for her and made her feel special and needed. I told her to get out of my apartment, and she was all too happy to do so. Fast forward a few years and she's in a master's program in Europe and starts talking to me again. I'm on the cusp of finishing my residency and about to start earning the big bucks people think doctors earn. She asks me for another chance. I was tempted to go for it until she started verbally abusing me again over our FaceTime/Skype sessions. I hatched a plot. I told her she'd have to quit her master's program and come to the States within 3 months. She was graduating in 6. She was reticent to do so, but I told her that if she wanted me back she needed to give me a show of good faith. I guess she figured she'd hamstring me by trapping me with marriage because she agreed. The day before she was due to fly out to the US, I told her I was lying. I blocked her on all my accounts and never spoke to her again. From what I understand, she's now surfing couches getting by on begging for charity from what few friends she made in Europe, and sometimes fucking some dude twice her age so he'd throw money at her. TLDR, don't cheat on med students. We bust our asses during med school, and if anyone mistreats us, we remember that shit for the rest of our lives. Comment 1. Automotive nitrous has stuff in it to prevent people from huffing it, whereas the medical stuff is pure. Similar idea to denatured alcohol. A wet shot means that there is a fuel nozzle next to the nitrous nozzle, and a standalone system fires both at the same time. A dry shot means that the nitrous system tells the ECU to inject more fuel when it is active. Comment 2. Hey, dentist here. Can I chime in? What do you mean hook it to your car? Nitrous oxide, NO, needs to be mixed with oxygen for you not to suffocate. The ratio NO:O2 is usually between 25 to 60% for anesthesia effects. So if you would just plug the NO to your car, then you would suffocate in a matter of minutes. But if you have a NO:O2 mix and be in an environment filled with it, you would have the same effects as being at the dentist with a little nose mask on. OP, feel free to correct me if anything here is off accordingly to you. Jokes aside, NO is used in dental offices because it is relatively safe compared to other anesthetic gases, and you can't really die of an overdose if you have O2 mixed with it.
I hope you enjoyed our video. It's always a pleasure creating these stories, and if you liked what you saw, please take the time to show your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Sharing with your friends is also greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of our videos. I'm all ears. Be sure to check back soon for more original Reddit stories every day on RedditRev. Until then, stay awesome, my friend.